In the last episode, I taught you that even with just a mobile phone, you could get stunning photos. In this episode, I got a helping hand with me to discuss with you what makes a good photo. We've already discussed lighting styles and angles. Now, let's talk about color. Most specifically, color theory. Welcome to PrtScn, episode 4. Imagine color theory as a secret code for using colors in your product photos to make them more appealing, more aesthetic to the eye, and to overall give an emotion or story to your photo. It's about understanding how color works together to create a certain mood and draw attention to your product, in this case, a keyboard. This technique also applies to other forms of photography and is not limited to keyboard photography as well. So in a sense, you'll be learning photography as a whole in this video. Let's start. First, let's talk about the color wheel. Think of a rainbow in a circle. This is the color wheel, and it shows how colors relate to each other. You might have probably seen this in editing apps, but the basic gist of it is that it represents all the colors the human eye can see. Now what could make up these colors? First up is color harmony. Certain colors naturally look good together. These are harmonious colors. There are different ways to achieve harmony, like using colors next to each other on the wheel, or analogous, for a calming effect, or using opposite colors of the wheel, which is complementary, for a bolder look. Now here is Lucas of Gantiokeys to explain further.
Hey, what is up going, guys? Alright, let's talk about matching colors with your keycaps. As someone who bought a lot of keycaps for no reason, Johan has initially opened how we can use different tools like the Adobe Color. This is where you can get an in-depth understanding of what set of different color combos that works well. Chances are what you're looking into are different harmonies like complementary, analogous, or even for a monochromatic. I think it is safe to say how everything should start with a question. Do you want your keyboard to stand out or go all together with your desk setup? In the simplest way possible, let's discuss some of the color harmonies that are pretty much common. When we say complementary, we pertain to colors that sit on the opposite ends of the wheel. In this scenario, we can see how rich colors get to make the other colors stand out even further, and it just elevates the overall visual experience. When we say analogous, we pertain to colors that sit side by side on the color wheel, which creates a mood, and doing so, it creates that character with your keyboard. When we say monochromatic, this pertains to variations of one color. Some people find such beauty in utilizing a base color and expand it on its range. These are some of the different color harmony basics we showcased. Browsing through Adobe Color, you have access where you can try to look for specific colors that you want, and it automatically matches what you need based on the harmony you aim for. All you need to do is navigate with ease. Now for the other tools, well, they're not exactly tools per se, but it is more of knowing where to search and what you need to search for. Pinterest is one of the many platforms that you can browse through. It helps you in visualizing what colors work best in different shape elements. But more so, it extends to different mediums such as fabrics, photographs, graphics, and many more. In doing so, it allows you to think creatively what you need to do in working with your desk setup. And it also answers your question whether should your keyboard stand out or go blend together with your setup. The second would be Discord. As a community-driven hobby, insights are always welcome here, where people share their color combinations and some would throw in suggestions. Sometimes you just need to ask some people here and there and they'll answer you right away. You can explore which servers you'd like to visit, as most keyboard vendors have their own Discord servers. Alright, that's pretty much about it from my end, so Johan, take it away.
Colors can also evoke feelings. Red feels energetic, while blue feels calming. In the context of keycaps, your basic white and black set looks formal and classic, even ones with beige, while a splash of GMK Greg or Handerbait shows funness and loudness in tone. Remember that your keyboard designers and keycap designers have thought of color as well before making your board. So it's your job to best show off their work with your preferences as well. As said earlier, you can use these colors to influence how people see your product. For backgrounds, it's still up to you. For me, I'll always stick to an analogous color or complementary color for my backgrounds. If I wanted the keyboard to stand out, I shoot with my fake marble backdrop, which makes the colors of the keyboard pop a lot more. And in times where I can shoot in the studio, I use warm colors such as yellows and oranges to make a product seem calming and inviting. That's why I shoot in the garden. In general, in product photography, you use these techniques to make your product stand out by using contrasting colors in the background. You can make your product pop and even evoke emotions by the use of color. Remember, color theory is just a tool. There are no hard and fast rules, so experiment and see what works best for your product and brand. With that all said and done, I have two boards here in need to be photographed. Come along the ride with me. This is the Monsgeek MG108W, a budget 108key keyboard with wireless capabilities, and I built them up with Epomaker Lily switches and Taihao camel keycaps. It's predominantly white and beige in tone, so we'll focus our set in beige and warm tones. We'll also add props later, but let's move on to the next keyboard. This is the Epomaker Dynatab75X, a funky looking 75% keyboard with a pixel display on top. Something quite interesting to see on a keyboard. It comes predominantly with a purple theme, so I'll stick with my teasel backdrop as a monochromatic color. But let's throw in a yellow backdrop as well for some complementary colors. These are two contrasting boards, and I think this will show off how different of a shot you can do with each one. While the MG108W will have a warm and calming feel, the Dynatab will have an edgy camera aesthetic and exciting feeling in the shots. Without any further ado, let's get started. For the Dynatab, I went in with two setups, one with a yellow backdrop to act as a complementary color, then one with a teasel backdrop or purple backdrop for a monochromatic look. You can see in the shots later that both evoke two different types of shots, one with some striking and vibrant colors, and one with less contrast and less in-your-face tones. I also went in and added in my conical snoot to add a fake sunlight into the shot. If you want a video on this, comment down below. But in essence, I can make different shapes with this type of lighting modifier, and in turn, make the shots more dynamic, as opposed to using soft light all the time. I've added props into the mix as well to complement the board. This is likewise true with the teasel setup. Moving over with the MG108W, I've used a beige backdrop for another monochromatic look. I've also added in props with the same color, but different tones, to complement the keycaps of the board and its white case. Remember the tips I told you in episode 1, 2, and 3, and you'll be off to the races with the shoot. With all that said and done, here are the photos. Today, with the help of Lucas, we've learned a lot about color theory, how to use it, how to implement it in our works, and how it can elevate our photos to be better. I hope you learned a lot in this video, and if you want the series to continue, voice your support in the comment section down below. Once again, I'm John J. Buemaba. Thanks to Lucas for helping out, and I'll see you in the next episode.